Since the Financial Sector Conduct Authority has announced progress in its regulatory processes with penalties imposed at an excess of 943 million rand on 33 persons, 104 public warnings have also been issued, while 76 licenses have been withdrawn and more than 1,000 others suspended for irregular practices. This is detailed in the latest regulatory actions report for the previous financial year, which highlights enforcement efforts between April last year and March 2024. FSCA Enforcement Divisional Executive Gerard van der Vente speaks to us about this. Thank you so much for your time. Great strides made. Do talk us through the capacity required and at your disposal to tackle issues around complex financial irregularities.
Thank you. Good evening, Tamisan. Yes, of course, this is a lot of work and it takes a lot of resources. And I can tell you, there's no person ever who said I have too many resources. But we do make sure that we cash in on available technology and so forth when we do our investigations. And this is, of course, not just an enforcement effort. Many of the license suspensions and so forth also happens in my sister division in the conduct of business supervision. But we have, in enforcement, we have a team of just over 40 investigators and senior investigators to deal with these cases.
As you said, one can't say that they are fully capacitated, but are there matters that are appearing as concerning trends within the financial crime patterns in the country?
Absolutely, Tim Sang. There are patterns that is of great concern, and there are also areas that we are focusing on because of that. So, if you look at the areas that we focus on, obviously a very important one is crypto providers. So you will know that end of last year was the deadline to apply for a crypto provider license, and anybody who didn't apply after that date will now be doing unregistered business. So we have put together a dedicated team to deal with unregistered business in the crypto area because of the obvious risk for the public in that arena. It's already a high risk investment, and if you do business with unregulated entities, that risk just skyrockets. And of course, also in all fairness to those entities that did apply. So that's one area of concern, and it's it's a focus area. Copy trading and signals and those things that happen on online trading is certainly another area of concern. Online trading in general, we consider that to be a high risk activity. So it's really not suitable to everybody, and that is something we're focusing on as well. But if you want to know about trends that we notice that's really an issue, I would definitely put deepfake scams on top of that list. With this wonderful artificial intelligence that's available to people these days, you can make anybody say anything, including anchors. And that has happened, as you probably know. So that is something that we warn the public about quite regularly. Impersonations is another issue. Regulated FSPs, financial services providers, being impersonated, their names being used, their numbers being used, etc. Well-known persons being impersonated, and even from time to time the personnel of the FSCA being impersonated. So that's something that we are also focusing on. There's a long list, but yeah, it's not as if we're short of work.
Yeah. What's interesting that I pick up there is that the concerning areas are related to what would be known as the digital era. What is it that the FSCA is doing to ensure that at least there's even more of a capacitation to deal with this matter? I assume that it would not just be the FSCA's role, but maybe a bigger, broader collaborative effort is needed in this regard.
Absolutely, you are right. So we have our own program of digitization and of making more use of the technology available in everything that we do. But from an enforcement perspective, we have a team, external team, that actually does a bit of social media monitoring to look for phrases that are suspicious, those unrealistic returns being offered to the public, etc. So we do keep an eye on that. And yes, of course, there's a lot of collaboration going on. We can't do our job without that. So there's a lot of collaboration with other agencies and regulators in South Africa, and of course international collaboration as well, because these online harm, as we refer to it, this is becoming quite an issue, and for that you need to reach across borders if you want to investigate that properly, and that we do with multilateral MOUs, memorandum of understanding, with other countries, other regulators. And it's time-consuming, but it's been very successful.
Thank you so much for your contribution. Gerard van der Venter is with the FSCA talking to us about the gains that they've made in their work with regards to combating financial crimes in South Africa.